my beautiful lovelies. I hope you guys had a wonderful Christmas holiday, and I pray that your after holiday festivities are just as amazing as your Christmas, Saturnalia, Yule, Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate. All of the things. I hope your post holiday season is just as amazing as your holiday season was, and that you are safe and healthy and happy. Hi, it's your girl Cass. And today we are going to discuss a little bit, just a little bit, tip of the iceberg about inner child healing. I know, you guys probably huffing and puffing, maybe even rolling your eyes. Inner child healing is just as important, especially if you have some kind of childhood trauma, as shadow work. Let me tell you why. Because the things that happen to us in our childhood impacts us so big that it takes up a huge portion of your subconscious trying to suppress stuff from your childhood, right? There's things that I can't, too many things. Anyway, this is not about me. It's about inner child healing. So I digress. So basic information is inner child healing is the process of getting in touch, connecting with, understanding, and then nurturing your inner child. This child that may have been neglected, this child that may have been through some sort of trauma, this child that may have had limiting beliefs, this child that may have had, all of the things that children go through because they're vulnerable and they're subject to predatory behaviors of the people around them. Inner child healing is your opportunity to go back to that child and helping that child deal with that situation the way that you needed it to be handled in order to heal properly. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. So in my case, I had a childhood trauma. At the end of the day, I wasn't in my mom's shoes, right? The only thing I can do is go back and try and help little Cass heal from that. Inner child healing. Now, that's, of course, a huge extreme case of it. It may be just that your parents, like mine, belittled you from the time that you were little, and you have low self-esteem, the limiting beliefs I mentioned earlier, because of their negging habits. We know parents tend to do this. Maybe little you needs help getting over those beliefs. Again, inner child healing. You go back and you deal with that child inside of you, and you parent that child and tell that child the things that you would have needed to hear when you were younger. Okay? So the purpose of it is to reconnect. You want to go in and you want to acknowledge your inner child. You want to acknowledge what they've been through. You want to reparent your inner child. You want to provide the care, the validation, provide the safety for them to process that safely if they weren't able to, and to help them process any traumas or any wounds that comes from that, right? Why, Cass, are you telling me I need to do some inner child work? Well, because inner child work helps you to break unhealthy patterns. It helps to improve your emotional regulation. As I've said before, when your subconscious is so busy trying to suppress stuff in your subconscious, you don't have room for good stuff to get in. You have to take some of the yuck out for the good stuff to get in. You need to learn how to be compassionate with yourself. You need to build that self-worth. How is that going to get in there if you're still holding on to these beliefs from your childhood? Okay, I hope that helps a little bit, bring it home a little bit more. So I just wanted to touch a little bit also on like some of the things that you could use your inner child healing for. And if you have ever had the ACEs, questionnaire completed on you. You know what I'm getting ready to go into. So, ACEs is the Adverse Childhood Experiences questionnaire. And what it does is it's the main categories of this trauma is they cover abuse, so like physical, emotional, sexual abuse. They cover neglect, both physical and emotional. They cover domestic violence, like did you witness this? Were you the victim of it? They cover household substance abuse. All of these are things that can cause or inflict childhood trauma, right? Mental illnesses in the home. Did you see somebody who was dealing with mental illness? How did they handle that? Parental separation or divorce. What was the statistic a few years back? At least 50% of people have parents that are divorced. Okay, yeah, most of us have dealt with that. Incarcerated household member. I'm not going to say anything about that. I could, but I won't. Community or school violence and bullying. How many of our babies right now are dealing with issues with their schools where they're now taking clear backpacks? And apparently somebody said the other day, and I don't know if it's true or not, bulletproof backpacks? Are we serious right now? Anyway, so that's just some of the things that we have to consider. I would suggest they do have it online. If you want to see where you're at in the scale, I did this and oh my goodness, y'all, my numbers were just, you don't realize how much trauma you're holding on to until you do something like this. So yes, I would recommend doing something like that. That will help highlight the areas that you could concentrate on. So, Cass, how am I supposed to work with my inner child? Because there's no, my inner child is inside me. I can't talk to my inner child. Well, actually, yes, you can. And I know that if you just sit around talking to yourself out in public, people are going to look at you like you have a couple screws loose. But, same with shadow work, journaling. You can write stuff down in your notebooks. You can type it on the computer. You can do voice notes. You can just sit with what the exercise that you choose to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to come up with an activity. Today, I like to color. So today, I'm going to color with my inner child. We're going to go back to when this incident happened, and I, as the adult, am going to talk to little Cass like I am her parent, and we're going to discuss that incident, and I'm going to give little Cass the room to process the incident the way that she needs to. Okay? Visualization, like I said, meditation, therapy. You guys know that I'm a big proponent of therapy. There's a lot of options out there now. If for whatever reason you do want to try and do it on your own, then definitely you want to do the meditations, you want to do the journaling. So the best thing I could tell you to do is just start. It'll be one of those things that when you start doing it, it's going to be hard because digging all of that stuff up is just brutal. And I'm telling you, if it's anything like it was for me, you are going to be probably wanting to get in the fetal position somewhere crying. But once you start releasing this stuff, you're going to feel so much freer. And I commend anyone and kudos to anyone who is actually willing to do that because it is such hard work and you're going to feel so much better for it. But anyway, I digress. So that is all I'm going to talk about inner child work today. I hope you guys had a wonderful, 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 wonderful holiday season, as I said. We have a new year coming up. It will be 2026 before we know it, you guys. Only 6 more days until we get to the first. So definitely enjoy the rest of the time that you have left in 2025. Take care of yourselves. Do some inner child work and happy healing. I will see you on the next one. Bye.